Because people don't know what they want, and those who know what they want don't communicate it. Okay, I've been watching the Chernobyl series on HBO for the past 2 days and my mind has been restless. I've never been this angry for so long. So anyway, that's why I need to distract myself to talk about something light and fun like dating. Why dating has been so frustrating these days. Well, I'm not sure if it's ever been easier in the past. It may be even more frustrating, but in different ways. In the past, it may be a bit easier in a sense that most people date because they want something in the long run, such as marriage and having a family. Whereas these days, the concept of dating for fun has been becoming more and more ubiquitous. And it seems like these two different goals make people confused about other people's expectation and even their own expectations. Some people often say, I'll just be lighthearted, I don't take this seriously and see how it goes. If it turns out well, that's great. If it doesn't, it's fine. I seriously don't know how people could reconcile internally these two conflicting expectations at the same time, because I used to be that person and said such thing, but after a while I figure out that I can't, because either you will be in that relationship one foot in, one foot out, but somehow hoping that it will turn out to be a glorious success, or you will put your whole effort and your heart into it, but then telling yourself that, oh, I'm not too serious about this. There's also this phenomenon where some people in fact want something serious and long-term, but then they're afraid of being hurt, of being vulnerable. So they force themselves into a chain of superficial hookups and relationships, and then at the end of the day, feel empty. So my antidote for all of these confusions and sufferings is to ask yourself this before going out and date other people. Why and what? Why do you want to date or to be in a relationship? And what could you do to achieve your why? The first question is to realize your purpose, and this has to be very clear. Do you want something for fun, or do you want something long-term and serious? There can only be those two. I don't think that there could be anything in between. Well, you could say that you want something fun with this person, but maybe other person would be different. But relationships in general, why are you spending so much time building intimacy with someone, with anyone? Why are you willing to put yourself out there, risking being hurt or hurting other people? Even if you want something for fun, I'm pretty sure that when it ends, either you get hurt or you hurt the other person that you used to be with. Human connection is not something we could handle with recklessness. Once you figure out your why, please communicate it straight away on the first date with the other person. You could save so much time and energy and effort and heartbreaks of so many people, and including yourselves, by simply communicating it. So for the sake of humanity's faith in dating and relationship, please do that. Your why could change from time to time, and it's fine as long as you are clear about it and communicate it. Also, when you ask yourself why, you may also realize illegitimate urges that make you want to be in relationships. For example, being afraid of being alone, being jealous of your friends who are in relationships, things like that. When you know your why, you could expect what relationships could bring you in return. If you date just for fun and light-hearted experience, you cannot expect anything more than fun and light-hearted experience. If you date for something serious, then you could expect self-growth, maturity, stability, and deep human connection. And of course, when you figure out your seriousness about relationships, you could figure out the seriousness of your responsibility. So the second question is to realize what is your responsibility when being in a relationship. Well, you may say that, why do I put responsibility into relationship talk? It's not like a job, it's not like a business. But you can't just expect something from a relationship or from somebody without thinking about your role. It's like you can't have a business expecting the money part and the freedom of working for yourself part, but not the part where you literally have to work 24/7 and deal with 100 times more stress than a normal job. People often get frustrated because of the mismatch between the why and the responsibility, either because of themselves or because of the other person. If you want something long-term and serious, then you have to learn to compromise, to sympathize, learn how to understand another human being, learn how to recognize our flaws and work on it. All these things are not easy. They take time, they take patience and commitment. But of course, like every other things, the more effort you put in, the more rewards you will get out. Simple. But I specifically dislike those people who want something serious but put in half-assed effort. Because the last I heard, when people put in their half-assed work, Chernobyl happened. There's this book called The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera, telling the story of two women, two men, and a dog to raise this question of whether or not we should choose lightness or heaviness for our lives. Lightness means freedom, free from own ties and bonds and expectations. Heaviness means responsibility, the weight of our decisions. Each has its own value and price. I'm not so much a fan of the book because it's a bit too much about love and sex, but the idea behind it is quite thought-provoking. I think these days we put a lot of emphasis on freedom, on pleasure, on lightness, that we are trying so hard to liberate ourselves from all of the external expectations without knowing the price that we have to pay. I saw a lot of people, including myself sometimes, running around in a circle, chasing their own tails and then asking why they're not getting anywhere. I think if we put together a lot of the things that happen to us repeatedly, we could see the image of ourselves. If you find dating is so hard, maybe you're the one that makes it hard. If you feel deprived of human connection, maybe you have been handling relationships with other people recklessly. If you find yourself constantly being confused by other people, and maybe you have not been straightforward enough. I said maybe because it could be the other people's part, but I think we would be best to find the solution within ourselves first. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for your time listening to me rambling, and have a wonderful time dating. I'll see you next week.